We want to get in this with the panel. Secretary of State John Kerry in Bangladesh speaking about terrorism, saying this, quote, "No country is immune from terrorism. It's easy to terrorize. Government and law enforcement have to be correct 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. But if you decide one day you're going to be a terrorist, you're willing to kill yourself, you can go out and kill some people, you can make some noise. Perhaps the media would do us all a service if they didn't cover it quite as much. People wouldn't know what's going on." We're back with the panel. Quickly, Cheryl.
I think he meant they would do us all a service, meaning us in the administration that have to answer all those questions.
AB.
I think he needs to watch the jet lag. I know he's working very hard. He needs some rest. But I mean, that final sentence was really something else.
Do you think that that's really the thought? Like the media shouldn't cover these things as much as they do?
What I think is that they do get frustrated.
I have heard President Obama say that we give too much time and credence and
that we
threat.
could die in car wrecks at a faster rate and that type of thing, and they want context and perspective given. But he literally said then they wouldn't know in the final sentence, and it's embarrassing.
Yeah, I think Cheryl's interpretation is exactly right. It was a bit of a Freudian slip. He was saying, yeah, it would help us a lot. And evidence of that is, we have these confrontations in the Straits of Hormuz. We have this stuff about the Russians hacking our election, possibly hacking our elections. And President Obama announced today that he's going to be the guest editor of Wired magazine because, some priorities you just can't put off. I mean, it's really, you can't make it up.
All right, panel, thank you. Cheryl, thanks for being here. Thanks for inviting us into your home tonight. That is it for this special report, Fair, Balanced, and Unafraid. Tune in about 1 hour and 30 seconds. I'm hosting for Bill O'Reilly on The O'Reilly Factor. We have Kellyanne Conway, the Trump campaign manager, on. You want to check that out. Greta goes on the record right now.
It's really hard to believe, but there is more. There are new Clinton emails showing Secretary Clinton's top aide, Huma Abedin, was concerned about email security when using Clinton's private email during a trip to Russia. The result? Clinton just kept on using a private email server. Go figure. Ingram, nice to see you, Laura.
Good to see you.
Hard to believe. I mean, it's almost impossible to keep track of all these emails.
Oh my gosh! I mean, they just keep popping up. It reminds me of the old billing records popped on a tabletop, and they were under court order to turn over. We're going to see where this leads, but at the very least, the email that is highlighted today is the email that indicates that they knew all along that these BlackBerries were not secure, that the interconnectedness of the Clinton Foundation and the State Department was rank. And they're on an official trip, but they're communicating about the foundation. I mean, so I think most people that hear emails, and their eyes probably do glaze over. But this does go kind of to the basic question of what is the public trust? You get the sense that when Hillary hears the phrase public trust, it's trust. I trust the public to work for me. And no, you're supposed to work for the public, and your focus is supposed to be on foreign policy and making our country safer and our allies safer. That's supposed to be the focus, but it seems like there were a lot of disparate focuses at the State Department during Hillary Clinton.
What I don't know is this. I'm not excusing her using a private server, but there have been indications in these emails, and we say it's a new email. I guess it's only a new email to us in the sense that I guess it's not newly discovered on some server or anything. I've seen more than one email showing that people who work very closely to her and have for years have known about this, and I think to myself, didn't they have, the courage, the guts, the stamina, the sense, the brains, to say something?
It's yes. Well, I mean, the old line is there no shame. I mean, you are supposed to be working during your work time for the public. You're working in the public interest.
I'm not saying that they should have said to her, we shouldn't be doing this.
Oh yeah, because again, people have gone to jail for this. You can't keep government communications on servers that are hackable. I mean, everything's hackable, but as we heard from government testimony, it was less secure than Google. So yeah, they all knew that, but she knew that in that email. You saw that Huma Abedin understood that this stuff was not secure. We left the BlackBerries on the plane. So the other ways that they had communicated. Was other interesting development from the Citizens United request is that these documents apparently are going to be coming out until 2018. The document production is going to continue, and this could actually be going on until the next midterm election cycle. That's how many documents they are holding back until the court order is fully executed.
I think that the people will get bored about it, hearing them every day.
If she wins, it's kind of, people are going to say it's irrelevant, right? She wins.
Let's turn to the debate, which I think is going to decide this.
It's going to be a big one, absolutely.
Because that gets the independents and the undecideds.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, at least the New York Times today, it said that Secretary Clinton was going to try to get under his skin.
Well, yeah, Kellyanne Fitzpatrick's an old friend of mine. I was joking the other day saying, Kellyanne, if I'm Hillary Clinton, I'm going to push every button. I got to push every button, because what they want him to do is to react and be his stereotype. He needs to reassure the public. He needs to, when she picks it up to a fever pitch, he needs to bring it down. There are performance things that even Reagan had to practice. President Reagan was governor of California. He did debate practice. You have to do it. I think people tend to.
Trump, at least one thing I read, that he wasn't doing debate. He was having hamburgers and something else at some country club. They wasn't going to stand at the podium and practice.
Well, I don't know what they're going to do ultimately, but I think if I could advise, on the air, which I've been doing on the radio about this, I'd take it seriously. It's not like you have to know every fact who's the president of Moldova. You're not going to know that stuff. But when stuff is sprung on you that you don't know, and no one knows everything, especially he's not going to know those little tiny things, you have to know how to pivot and then get back to the central question of the status quo is unacceptable to most Americans. I'm going to change that. And if you want a job, you're going to have more money in your pocket. To me, that's the message. It has to be a message of stability, reassurance. And I think in the end, it has to be, this country's going to get better when my policies are put in place. And he's either going to do that or he's not. But I think you do need to practice. Look, people do it different ways. But I worked for President Reagan, so I always think of the way he did things, and he was a master performer. Let's not forget it.
Well, we're all waiting for that first debate.
It's a big one for sure.
Hey, Laura, thank you. And it doesn't just stop. The FBI is getting ready to release new material from the Clinton email investigation. Fox News chief intelligence correspondent Catherine Harris is here. Catherine, we have new emails.
Okay, so in this situation, after the FBI closed the classified information investigation in July, all these media outlets made requests for those files. And what we expect to happen this week is that some of those files will now be released. So the FBI recommendation to the Justice Department not to pursue criminal charges. Also, the summary of Clinton's interview, what they call in the FBI, the 302, and then also the backup notes from the agents who questioned her.
All right, why weren't they released 2 weeks ago, or why are they being released now?
Well, the FOIA process is a mysterious thing. Okay, that's my only good answer to that. But this is certainly a question where these records are being forced into the public domain because of requests by media outlets. This is not the FBI making a decision to release this information, sort of in the same way the director went public about his findings in July.
All right. When I was talking to Laura and I talk about new emails, these aren't really sort of new emails. There's a universe of emails.
This is the FBI's investigative file.
We're just getting
emails.
Pieces of it,
That's
so
correct.
It's new to us, but it's not like newly discovered emails.
No, this is the FBI's investigative file on the Clinton emails. So this is the mountain of evidence they gathered to reach a conclusion that they could not or should not recommend criminal charges. So at the heart of this are the notes from the agents who investigated Hillary Clinton and her email practices, as opposed to, God forbid, new email records.
Are they notes like, all right, God forbid, are they notes about what she said, what was asked of her, or do they also include thoughts like, I think she's telling the truth, I think she's not telling the truth, I think she's uninformed?
We're going to see, depending on how much of the records are released and how much it is redacted or sections are blacked out, when he was against criminal charges, that there was no evidence of intent. So it's kind of a chicken and egg situation. How do you make that conclusion if your agents did not press her on that issue?
And of course, that's what she may get pressed on at the debate.
Well, and the Judicial Watch has now tabled their 25 questions. She has to answer under oath.
By when?
September 29th. So that's just after that first debate.
All right. Anyway, Catherine, thank you.
You're welcome.
Who did not have a security clearance who were given access either to her server or to her emails.
Director Comey had said that my answers in my FBI interview were truthful.
Secretary Clinton said all work-related emails were returned to the State Department. Was that true?
No. She signed a sworn affidavit in August of 2015 testifying under penalty of perjury that she turned over all of her work-related emails to the State Department. It doesn't appear that that affidavit is truthful either.
I guarantee you, none of you guys would get away with that.
Wisconsin Congressman Sean Duffy goes on the record. Good evening, sir.
Hi, Greta. How you doing?
Good. So the news today about this particular set of emails that have been released is that Huma Abedin knew that there was some insecurity associated with the Clinton email when they were on a trip to Russia. Big deal, not a big deal? And if it's a big deal, what are you going to do about it?
Well, I think it's a big deal in that Huma, the deputy chief of staff, knew that the Clinton server wasn't secure. Point number one. So that means that Hillary Clinton knew that her server wasn't secure, and they chose anyway, Greta.
It shows that she does. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it shows that Secretary Clinton does. It shows that Huma Abedin did.
Well, she sent an email around to those who were going on the trip to Russia that their BlackBerries weren't secure, number one. But number two, in the House, when we go to hot zones like this, we don't even take our BlackBerries or iPhones with us because someone doesn't have to steal your phone to get information off of it. They just have to be in close proximity. So that they would have brought their phones to Russia, left them on the plane, they're not secure on a U.S. plane on a Russian tarmac. The Russians can still access that information. I just think it shows a real cavalier attitude towards secure American information that should have been in a far more safe and secure place back in the United States.
All right. Certainly shows the cavalier attitude, to use your words, of Huma Abedin. How do you connect it to Secretary Clinton? By the mere fact that she works for Secretary Clinton, is there any indication she told Secretary Clinton? I mean, look, the one thing we don't know, and which I have yet to figure out, is how computer savvy Secretary Clinton really is, because we haven't gotten a lot of answers. But how do you assign this to Secretary Clinton herself?
So I don't have an email, but I was a former prosecutor like you were, Greta, and Americans, whether on the jury panel or they're viewing their electoral candidates, they use common sense. And if your chief of staff is talking to the rest of the staff about the security of your information on a foreign trip, I'm sure that if she had the concern for all the staff, she would have concern for Hillary Clinton herself, who has the most secure information of everybody. And I would assume, using my common sense, that she would have told Hillary Clinton that. Now, I don't have an email to prove it, but common sense would say, obviously, she would have shared that information with Hillary Clinton. And by the way, Greta, Huma, we have emails that show left secure data on the front seat of her car and had to call back or email back and say, take the secure data and put it in my trunk. I mean, she herself hasn't shown a real concern for the security of her information, and she's the one that's bringing this topic up to the rest of the staff on this trip.
Oh, I mean, it certainly points to Huma Abedin. What I'd say, and the one thing is I still don't see that, where the Secretary Clinton knows about it. She may have known about it, but so far there's no sort of paper trail or no emails to show it. The only thing that we have at best is that she was a close aide to Secretary Clinton.
I would just argue at this point, this is not the end. We're going to continue to see emails dribble out, and we're going to continue to see Hillary Clinton lie and lie again. And my concern, as I view this as an American citizen, is the ease with which she lies, not just to Congress, but to all the American people and to the press. She does it with a straight face, and that's in the gale force winds of evidence showing that what she's saying is absolutely untrue.
You know what, the thing that bothers me that I'm stuck with, and maybe I don't have all the facts, I still don't understand the fact that her lawyers went through her emails after they knew that they were requested by the House and decided which were personal and then destroyed them. They didn't just put them in a vault or put someplace else, but they destroyed them. And for some reason, I still don't think, I don't get why why that was done and why everyone thought that, why Secretary Clinton thought that was okay.
Well, I would argue that, now I don't have evidence of this, but I'm using my common sense that she is probably trying to destroy evidence. She doesn't want us to have that information. But it goes to another point, too, Greta. The effort in which the State Department is going to making sure that these emails are not released before the election. As Catherine Heritage just mentioned, this is going to be disclosed over the next 3 years.
Well, that may be,
I think the American people deserve this information right now.
Well, that may actually hurt Secretary Clinton if it drags out forever. That may actually hurt her. But even more than that is that, what I hear from the State Department all the time is that they've had so many FOIA requests that they don't have the manpower. I don't know if that's true or not, but that this is quite a daunting task.
Greta, I would argue they're well apprised of what's in those emails, and they're fighting hard to make sure that those emails aren't released so the American people can't see what's in them, because it'll expose Hillary Clinton's ties to the Clinton Foundation. It'll expose Benghazi, and I think she'll then appear, as I think now, to be an unacceptable president of the United States.
And I got to go. Thank you for joining us, Congressman.
Thanks, Greta.
And just moments ago.